Ronda, I really, really, really do. I can't stand here and look at your eyes and tell you that I'm going to beat you at SummerSlam.
Tell me when I'm telling lies!
Let me in.
Hey, this is the Toxic Reign Scandal featuring the Turnbuckle King TBK. Got another good one for you guys today. Now, we touched on Liv Morgan recently about the Bodycam arrest in Florida, but that's not what we're here for this time. This is a more focus on Liv Morgan. How did Liv Morgan get here? How did she get where she's at? There are plenty of interviews, and some information here that tells us how Liv Morgan got to where she's at currently in 2024, going from when she got to WWE, when she got to the main event. Get a seat at the locker room. We are going to dive in. And as usual, let's air the dirty laundry. There will be some interviews here. And definitely, I have one piece of information of someone who confirmed how Liv Morgan how they switched plans on how to get Liv Morgan there, who's originally supposed to get Liv Morgan's spot back in 2022. But with that being said, we're going to start off to a little bit of early biography about Liv Morgan. Of course, her after winning championship, the little body cam, a little information with the body cam, and many others. So you guys get a seat there at the locker room. We are going to definitely get into it, do some interviews, react to the interviews, and of course some information that I have found, and I'll react to that as well. Both what my observation could be. I have my final analysis on everything. So with that being said, let's play the first interview, and there will be plenty others afterwards. Of course, reactions as usual. So as Liv Morgan would say, watch me. Let's go. So the first interview now, this will be Wrestling with Andy, talking about Liv Morgan.
Born on June 8, 1994 in Morristown, New Jersey, and it was there that, following the death of her father while she was still at an early age, she and her siblings would be raised alone by their mother. And one of the kids' favorite things to do during this time, as it happened, was to watch wrestling on TV, something which eventually led to all of them taking part in backyard shows with each other for the entertainment of their friends. In fact, in the years since, Gianna has gone on to describe those days spent taking pedigrees and powerbombs from her brothers and her sisters as the point where she first truly fell in love with the sport, with her understanding then that it was where her future lay. And as for who her favorite performer was in the ring at this time, well, that would be Lita. And so, deciding that she wanted to be the next top women's star in wrestling herself, Gianna would first start dipping her toe into the sporting world when she performed as a competitive cheerleader while at high school soon after this. Then, once school finished, she'd make ends meet for a while by working at and modeling for a local Hooters restaurant, all while formally starting her training at Joe DeFranco's gym in nearby Wyckoff, New Jersey. And that, as it happened, would turn out to be the best move she could have possibly made, because it was well there in 2014 that she was discovered by a local WWE talent scout, with this person instantly seeing something in her and asking her to sign up to a developmental contract with the company from there. So given that this was her dream, it only made sense that the Jersey girl would quickly sign on the dotted line, saying goodbye to her old life at this point, as she then made her way over to NXT. And there then, after a few months getting to know the ins and outs of things, she would make her official on-screen debut at February 11th, 2015's TakeOver Rival, when she played the role of a fan who jumped on Tyler Breeze during his ring entrance. After that, she'd make another appearance at NXT's following Big Show, TakeOver Unstoppable on May 20th, there once again being part of Breeze's entrance. So with her now being given a taste of what it was like to be on screen then, Triple H, the head of the black and gold brand at the time, would start easing her into matches in front of fans, with the earliest of these seeing her lose to Eva Marie on the November 4th episode of NXT.
So there you can see it. Liv Morgan was in NXT since 2014, started as a fan, so she came up around the Mandy Rose, Alexa Bliss's around that time. So to show how she at, but let's see if there's any little more information about it. And I'll play a little bit more of this early career here of Liv Morgan.
Working under the name of Marley. Of course, that name would only be temporary, however, and by December of the same year, she would debut under her new moniker of Liv Morgan. That said, this would not see her start winning quite yet, as in her reintroductory match, Liv would fail to get the better of her opponent, Emma. But she was still just a rookie at this point anyway, so had plenty of time left to prove herself. And this was something she became obsessed with doing then when, on the January 13th, 2016 episode of the Black and Gold brand, she took part in a battle royal to earn a shot at Bayley's NXT Women's title. And while she didn't win the match that night, her performance would see some fans start to get behind her, something which helped to spur the rookie on towards picking up her first victory against Aaliyah a few months later. Following this, now on a roll, she would next enter into a program with Peyton Royce and Billie Kay, the Iconics, a program which saw the newcomer's profile start to rise even higher come the end of it. So perhaps it should have come as little surprise then that just a few months after this, on the November 21st, 2017 episode of SmackDown, Liv Morgan would officially make her main roster debut when, alongside Ruby Riott and Sarah Logan, she'd form the Riott Squad, the newest trio of heels on the female roster.
So she, of course, when she got into the main roster, she went through a couple character changes, but she ultimately got on the main roster with the Riott Squad with Ruby Riott and Sarah Logan. So that's her early careers on there. But definitely let's talk more about it. Now that's Liv Morgan, her early career on. That's her early career on. And this is, of course, before Liv Morgan got to where she's at. But we'll talk more about it as Liv Morgan definitely got to the part in that career. But Liv Morgan later on will go to the main event scene. She would win the Money in the Bank contract and would become women's champion. Now, we're going to talk about how after she won the women's championship back in 2022, she did an interview with Ariel Helwani of TNT Sports. We're going to talk about how she won a championship, and Ariel asked her a question: did she always think she was going to become the WWE Women's Champion? And she surprised said she always knew, despite, her coming up was a little bit rough. She said she kind of always knew she would become champions. So let's see what she says about this. This is Liv Morgan interview with Ariel Helwani. I know some of you people don't like him, but let's get to him. I'll pull that up right now, and I'll tell you guys what I think after the interview. And then after I pull it all up, it'll all make sense. So let's go up to the interview now.
So if I would have told you back then in 2 or so years you'd be champion, you would have believed me, honestly?
I would have hoped it was sooner. I would have been like, oh my gosh, 2 years. But yeah.
So you guys noticed there, she always knew she was going to be champion, and said she wished it would have been sooner. Now, we know Liv Morgan's not always known for her best in-ring work. Character promos, people, is questionable. Very debatable what people thought of her promos. Why did Liv Morgan knew she would always win champion? What is the key factor here? Let's see what else she has to say in this interview here with Ariel Helwani.
I think I've always known, even if at times it felt like unattainable, that this would be my end game.
One thing that you said in the documentary that really stood out to me was you want to make your family proud of you. And you just mentioned your family about like one of the best parts of this past month. And so I'm wondering if you have felt that from them. Do you feel like they are proud of you? Do you feel like they are happy for your success?
Yes, they're so proud of me, so happy for me. But it kind of, I have like a responsibility in my life, and you know, it's something that I grew up knowing and why I wanted to be in the WWE so bad and why I pushed so hard for the stream. Like, you know, I have a responsibility to take care of my family. I don't have kids, but I have a mother and brothers and sisters that like literally depend on me. So like, I know they're so proud of me and so happy for me, but I'm also like, I gotta keep it going. You know,
Now, as you heard in the Justin Ingram, hey, welcome to the locker room. As you heard earlier, Liv Morgan, her father passed away when she was very young, and it forced, you know, her mother to be a single mother, take care of all her siblings. But yeah, I will get to this later. Liv Morgan did, she didn't finish school, from what I've read on the research. She didn't finish school, and she went to start working, and she worked to help out her family. And it seems like, fast forward now, I know this interview was back in 2022, she still supporting, take care of family, even as an adult, and even, you know, after being on her own. So let's hear more about Liv Morgan after winning the women's championship, and we'll get back to what else she has to say.
I gotta keep it going. I can't stop here. Like, even though I'm champ, like, I still need this just as much as ever. So they're proud and happy, but I like am not letting off the gas, not even for a second.
And your family dynamic is fascinating. 6 of you, right? 6 kids, and your mom raised all of you. Are you close with your siblings right now? The 5 others? I mean,
some, not all of them.
Okay.
Some I haven't spoken to in years, but most of my family lives in Florida now. So a lot of them, I say, like, out of 6, I'm really close with 3.
Okay.
And I have a good relationship with my mother, but yeah, you know, I kind of just take, I take care of them. So
Why is it on you to take care of them?
it's not, but I guess growing up and being in my environment, like, I understood really soon, like, this isn't what I want in my life. And so I think that's why, like,
What do you mean by this isn't what you want? Like, you don't want to live
my
here?
surroundings, you know, it was just very violent.
And that's the point I wanted to make here. Liv Morgan says she says she felt it's not her responsibility to take care of family. Yes, she's doing it. She's pretty much was conditioned at a young age to take care of her siblings. And when she said, you know, this ain't for her, she want to get her family out, it's kind of like a Booker T moment here.
Tell me you did not just say that.
Yes, she did just say that. And it feels like her mother had a condition in her at a young age and put all that pressure on her as a young child to take care not just of herself, but her siblings and her mother. And she's still doing that now. And she say, even though she's not close with some of them, she probably still takes care of them. And she has a very close relationship with her mother, or at least maintain a very good relationship with her mother. So it's still there. The relationship's still there. She is, I think she's going to be 30 this year, 30 next month. And she still feel like she's responsible for her siblings and her mother as a grown woman. This is childhood trauma. It could show that Liv had a lot of issues going on in her life, even early on. So this is just crazy. So this is not normal at all, to say the least. Well, hopefully things get better for her. But you could clearly see even Ariel Helwani is stating that something's going on with her, you know, and this dates back to her childhood. That's why I played the other video of her early childhood in her early career in WWE. So let's see if there's anything else in this interview with Ariel Helwani. Let's see what you guys have to say. Justin Ingram said, hey. Tom Lane, welcome to the locker room. Said Liv Morgan's hot. Rip said, bro, who cares about Liv? Obviously you, because you came here and made a silly comment like that. So you make a comment and you care. So if you think you don't care about Liv Morgan, we know that's cap.
That's cap. Totally cap.
Other than that, let's see what else say. Gamer One said, bless her. Yeah. Let's see what else she says in this interview with Ariel Helwani.
Told you that you needed to save them, right?
No, but I always need like this is not.
So she said it was drugs, abuse, and police around her house single night. So around her neighborhood, she was by bad things. And I wonder if that also could have happened within her own household as a child. Maybe there's a gem that Liv is trying to tell us. But there's definitely some trauma here with her. And you could tell she conducts herself in some of these interviews, as I stated a couple nights ago, following the body cam. After the body cam video, let's continue on. But you said that police is at your house every night, though. If your dad had a heart attack, maybe he was having episodes, but it seemed like it was more to it than just your dad passed away of a heart attack. God rest his soul. Rest in peace to her dad. But it seemed like it was more going on than just one night. And this even happened before she was even born. So, Wolf, our Uzaki, salute to you. All right, let's continue on. Let's see if there's any. It said right here, police at your house every night. So let's see what else they say after this. After that, I will move on to another interview.
High hopes for myself. I have like this vision of myself in my mind.
Okay. That was the end of that. That's all I'm going to cover this interview with Ariel Helwani. Also, I do want to go off of, there's a piece of information I did have, and it's describing how Liv Morgan was originally not supposed to win Money in the Bank, and there will be something else, describing that. So let's see. So I will pull that interview up shortly. All right, guys. All right. This is the piece of information I was talking about. Like I said, Liv, it seemed like she knew she wanted to be a champion, seemed a little too confident. Ronda Rousey, in her recent book, Ronda Rousey, Our Fight, that came out last month in April, she stated something about Liv Morgan in her book near the end of the book. I think it was chapter 16 here. Ronda's going to talk about Liv here and how Liv was not supposed to originally win the Money Bank contract. You guys will be shocked to see who was originally supposed to win the contract. Ronda Rousey is going to state it right here in her book, Ronda Rousey, Our Fight. Book is out now, actually. So if you guys like Ronda Rousey, check it out. And actually have the audiobook on my other channel, Red Carpet Rain. Check that out as well. So let's pull up this section of Ronda Rousey book, which is a few minutes, to see what she said about Liv Morgan.
And cue the music. The winner from the women's ladder match earlier that night would come out, cash in, and take me out. Who's that going to be? I asked. Lacey Evans, Paul Heyman told me. That would be so great for her, I said. Equal parts Southern charm and in-ring brutality. She had served in the Marines before getting into pro wrestling. Lacey had had a baby just a few weeks after I had.
So there you go, right there. Ronda Rousey confirms that Lacey Evans was supposed to originally win that Money in the Bank contract. So let's continue on. Let's see what else Ronda Rousey has to say.
Poe and was making her own return to WWE. Moms are doing it, I thought to myself. Does she know? I asked. Not yet, Paul said. She's definitely going to get the title, I asked. Has anyone told her? Wait a week or so, Paul said. If nothing changes, you should definitely be the one to tell her. You're the one giving her first title. A week passed, nothing changed. I grabbed Lacey when I happened to pass her in the hall. She had been coming up through NXT during my first run. She even helped me develop my Piper's Pit finisher. Hey, you know anything around here could change at any minute, I said. She nodded slowly. I continued. But the plan for the last week or so is that you're going to win Money in the Bank and cash in on me that night. She broke into a huge grin. I wanted to be the one to tell you, I said. I'm so happy to be giving you your first title. I could hear the excitement in her voice as she assured me she wouldn't get her hopes up, but it was clear they already were. 2 days later, I was standing in my kitchen washing baby bottles when my phone rang. Paul Heyman's name appeared on the caller ID. I dried my hands on the fish towel and picked it up. Hey, Paul, what's up? I asked. So Lacey's out. Liv's in, he said. I was confused. Lacey's hurt? I asked. I had just talked to her. It didn't make sense. No, it's just going to be Liv. Why the change? I asked. Vince is just feeling Liv this week, Paul said matter-of-factly. In any other scenario, I would have been nothing but happy for Liv. We made our WWE debuts around the same time. With the exception of Shayna, I was probably closer to Liv than any other woman on the roster. She had more momentum and fan support than anyone. She was clearly the best choice. But I had just told Lacey she was going to win Money in the Bank and be champ, and now she wasn't. All I could think of was it would have been better if I kept my big mouth shut. That way she'd never have known. I hung up, throwing the phone onto the counter, immediately regretting it as the noise startled Poe from her nap. I was angry for Lacey, angry that the WWE had put me in this position, angry because Lacey probably didn't even fucking know and was out there walking around excited about a moment that would never come. Angry that this old man, cue the music, the winner from the women's ladder match earlier that night would come out, cash in, and take me out. Who's that going to be? I asked. Lacey Evans, Paul Heyman told me. That would be so great for her.
So there you have it. That is Ronda Rousey book stating that Liv Morgan was going to become the Money in the Bank ladder match women for the women's division and also win the WWE Women's Championship within the SmackDown Women's Championship. Lacey Evans was supposed to win that contract, but Paul Heyman called Ronda and said, you know what? There were change of plans. That's crazy. It was change of plans. She stated that it was going to be, instead of Lacey winning, it was going to be Liv Morgan. And they probably said, why? And then you heard Ronda, she said, why Liv Morgan? Why is Liv Morgan winning this belt? And she said that Liv is feeling Liv. Vince is feeling Liv this week. That's crazy. So Ronda already knew ahead that Liv was not the original person supposed to win the contract with championship. Supposed to be Lacey Evans. For some reason, it switched to Liv Morgan. I would say Vince McMahon and maybe other higher ups has something for Liv instead. What did Liv do to get to that position? How did Liv knew that she wished she would have been champion sooner, as stated in the interview with Ariel Helwani? Did Liv Morgan know something early on? Did they promise her a women's championship? What did she do backstage? What did she do with the higher ups to guarantee or be promised a women's championship? And it changed so quickly, went from Lacey Evans, who was the better wrestler at the time, than Liv Morgan, and now Liv Morgan all of a sudden come out of nowhere and win the championship. And then beat Ronda Rousey and did it at Money in the Bank event. That's crazy. Who knew that Lacey Evans was the original winner of the Money Bank ladder match winner and plus with championship. All of a sudden, it goes to Liv Morgan. I mean, that's wild. You know, I guess Liv Morgan had an open mic night.
Who the hell told you tonight was open mic night, bitch?
So yeah, that's crazy, but that is the reason that Liv Morgan became champion. She was not original plan to become the winner of the Money in the Bank ladder match, and she definitely was not supposed to become women's champion. It was originally supposed to be Lacey Evans, not Liv, who had the contract here, and then go on to become champion. So that's crazy. But also, you guys let me know in the live chat and also on the playback what you think of that situation. Also, let's talk about how Liv Morgan, wherever she at before she was employed by the WWE. There's a recent interview about that as well. Now, this interview was actually more recent, actually. Let's talk about how her history here, how Liv Morgan was actually brought in. How was she discovered? So let's see. We're going to do an interview right now. And let's see, how was Liv discovered? And she's going to talk about that shortly. And I will pull it up and I'll react to that afterwards. So let's see. Let's pull that up right now. Keep the like, subscribe, notification bell on as you come to the locker room.
Didn't you get discovered at a gym?
I got discovered at a Hooters.
Didn't you get discovered at a gym?
I got discovered at a Hooters.
Hooters does have the best wings.
I can tell that was childhood traumas I stated earlier. She is so goofy. Liv is a cute girl, but she's goofy. Let's continue.
The very best wings, and it's always fresh, never frozen.
So you're working at Hooters.
Yep.
You're bringing out some wings or some pitchers of beer or whatever. And then how do you get discovered?
Okay, so with a little backstory. So everyone at Hooters knew I loved wrestling. I'd be doing my bar shifts. I'd put WWE on the TV. I'd be serving with WWE on the TV. Like, everyone kind of knew was my thing. And apparently, before my time, there was a wrestler who will not be named that used to manage this specific Hooters. So anytime they came around in town, they'd go to Hooters. Me being the big WWE fan that I was, I saw this wrestler come into Hooters and I knew who they were exactly. And I introduced myself. And my manager was like, hey, we have this girl. She just like loves wrestling. And because you're a wrestler, like maybe, talk to her. So I talked to this wrestler for a while and I was like, I want to wrestle. And they're kind of just like, haha, yeah. And I kind of just spit all my wrestling knowledge to them. And I was like, blah, 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 blah. And they were like, okay, like you really do love wrestling. So they introduced me to this man, Joe DeFranco. Joe DeFranco is like a world-renowned strength and conditioning coach. He only trains professional athletes. And he actually trains Triple H on a weekly basis. And so I went to his gym and he threw me right in with his NFL guys. I had never worked out a day in my life before that. I didn't even know like what workout gear was. I think I wore like sweatpants and like a sports bra, and he's like, go. And I was like, okay. And so in my mind, this is like my WWE tryout. So I'm like giving it my all. And I worked out with him for a couple days, and I guess he just was like impressed by like my resilience. I don't know, because I'm like struggling through everything, but I like wouldn't quit. And so he reached out to WWE for me. It was like the nicest thing anyone has ever done for me. So shout out to Joe DeFranco. Reached out to WWE for me and was like, hey, we have this girl. I just think she's worth a look. And I had actually just missed the tryout camp. And they were like, we have another one in 6 months. So keep training with her and then we'll fly her in. And so I trained with Joe DeFranco every single day for hours a day. I trained with him in the morning and then go to my Hooters shifts. And then my tryout finally came and I was very well prepared. Not in wrestling, of course, because I had no wrestling training. But as far as like strength and conditioning, like I absolutely killed those cardio drills. And I got signed. And it was just like the craziest blessing in my whole entire life.
So that's Liv Morgan talking about how she was discovered. She was originally a waitress at Hooters, and she was discovered by an unnamed WWE wrestler. Now we know, besides Triple H, people that did work with Joe DeFranco. We know his client, one of his clients is Mark Calloway, aka The Undertaker. Undertaker's one of his clients. Enzo Amore is his other client. And you know, Liv Morgan used to date Enzo Amore. So I don't know if that's Enzo Amore or whoever, but she trained with Joe DeMarco and clearly got to WWE. So that's her backstory of how she was discovered. Now we're going to talk about her recent body cam arrest. I know I touched on this already. We're going to talk about now how it's been rumored going along, and I stated this earlier on my other stream about the whole Liv Morgan and body cam. So we're gonna talk about that too and see what's confirmed when she did this body cam. So let's get there. Robert Sterling, you said bro sipping over a fantasy. Who's sipping over a fantasy? I'm stating how she got to WWE. How was that simping? If you're gonna come in here and say something that makes sense and listen to the whole stream before you run your mouth. You don't even know what you're talking about. You sound like a clown. So next time, come here with some sense, bro. Don't come here with that nonsense, bro. You embarrassing yourself. So let's talk about her confirming what happened in this body cam. I'll pull this up right now. And I'll state the facts. I'm not gonna sound like Robert Sterling and sound like a clown like he does. So let's get into it.
So
060894.
060894.
Thank you. Can you please go to the phone? Am I making the phone call right now or getting numbers right now? Phone call for the car.
Yeah, you can make a
Reasons, please. And then Taylor, please. Speaker, thank you. I don't even know the location of where we are.
So we're on 476.
Taylor, I'm being arrested. I need you to come pick up my car.
Okay, where are you?
I don't even know.
It's County Road 476 and 575. You'll see lights in her Jeep.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that? I cut it out.
So it's in Sumter County. It's County Road 476 and 575. Yes, sir. If you come down 476, you'll see a deputy's or pickup truck with her Jeep. Do you want his number?
Yeah. Also, Taylor, I think you need to have Alexi drive your car, and then so you can take my car.
Okay, I'm trying to write.
I know, but then you can't take my car if you're driving your car.
Yeah.
Also, I need to post bail. Can you please work on that for me?
Yes.
Yeah, there was a vape in my car. I don't know whose vape was in my car, but there was a vape in my car, and so I'm being arrested for this vape.
Where were you coming back from?
The eyebrow place. I'm not good with geography. You know that. I honestly, I couldn't even tell you. I was coming back from the eyebrow place. I think this is Sumter County. That's what like the sheriff car says.
Yeah, it's Sumter County.
Where will your keys be?
I think they're gonna wait. I'm sorry.
They'll be with the car.
Okay.
A deputy will be here waiting for you. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
How long will you be? Just so I can give him an estimate.
I think I'm around 45 minutes from that.
No way. No, it was closer because I was like
22 minutes away from JoJo's house.
You guys live in
Around
Hernando?
I'm sorry, what?
You guys live in Hernando?
Is there any landmark, like, here?
Hold on, sir. Hold on 1 second. If you take, you know where 75 is, like headed north?
Yes.
If you take 75 and you get off the exit, the Bushnell exit.
Is that right by Ridge Manor?
So it's the next exit up from Ridge Manor.
Okay.
It'll be Bushnell, so it's an exit north. You'll get off there and you'll take it to 476. If you just type in 476 and 575, you should be able to find the address.
476 and 575.
Yes, sir. You'll see a patrol car on the side of the road. Okay.
Okay. Yes, I'm trying to work on, because the person that I would be riding with me isn't here right now, so I may just come and pick up her car.
So the only thing is you have to get here. Otherwise, we have to tow it. We only have a certain amount of time that you can come pick up the car. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna leave now, and if anything, I call my mom to
Okay.
get me.
All right.
And come pick up my car.
Can you work on bailing me out, please? Which facility are we bringing?
So it'll be the Bush. So it'll be Sumter County Detention Center.
Sumter County Detention Center.
Sumter County Detention Center.
Okay.
Okay.
You want to say?
All right, thank you. Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
So that was Liv Morgan. Anyone that wants to know, the guy she called Taylor, that's the real name of Taylor Rotunda. And yes, that is Dallas, Bo Dallas, or Bo Leave, Simp Leave. Bo Dallas, that is pretty much her confirming that relationship with Bo Dallas. That's them in the picture at a recent wedding. I believe that was for Sonya Deville. Them two are pretty much in a relationship, despite the rumors that's been going on for quite some time, for years actually. She is dating him. I don't know how serious it could be, but I know it's dating. WWE fan Jay Uso said Liv Morgan in trouble. Yeah, this is the body cam that was back in December 2023, the Florida arrest. I already covered this already. I just used this piece of information to pretty much confirm her relationship. Well, her dating. I ain't gonna say relationships. Well, I know the caption say I put relationship, but pretty much her dating Bo Dallas. I call it Bo simply Dallas because he a simp. The way he was okay, all doing anything he can for Liv Morgan. So, but anyway, I just use that to confirm that's who she's dating. And also I'm going to talk about too. Earlier, it stated that Liv Morgan did win the Money Bank contract, and it was originally supposed to be Lacey Evans. If like that, we heard that earlier in the Ronda Rousey book. Now, with that being said, it's going to talk about as well how she was originally. If you look, Lacey Evans was originally in that match. So I'm gonna go back to the first video I played by Wrestling with Andy talking about Liv Morgan. So let's get back to that.
Only pick up speed from there, as on the June 13th episode of Raw, she resumed her goal to become women's champion when, alongside Alexa Bliss, she defeated the team of Doudrop and Nikki ASH to qualify for that year's women's.
If you look in this is the Money in the Bank ladder match that she did win back in 2022. If you look here, Lacey Evans was in that match with her. She was the original winner to win that match. Lacey Evans, yes, was supposed to win the Money in the Bank contract back in 2022, and Lacey Evans was also originally supposed to win the Women's Championship, not Liv Morgan. As Ronda Rousey stated in her book, they shifted from Lacey to Liv in a matter of a week. So that's very all of a sudden. It says it right here. Let's see what else they have to say about this.
Money in the Bank ladder match. And learning from the mistakes of prior years then, this time, Liv would prepare herself for every possibility, with that being enough to see her ultimately overcome her opponents and win the briefcase, granting her a title shot at any time of her choosing. So now the question was, when would she cash in? Well, in a backstage interview soon after the match was over, Liv would tease the answer to this when she suggested WrestleMania might be a good time for her to reach the top of the mountain. That was, of course, all just a red herring, however, because instead, with Ronda Rousey defending her SmackDown Women's title against Natalya later in the show, fully confident in the belief that would be the only defense that night, Miss Money in the Bank took the opportunity to surprise the champ by cashing in. From there, pinning the former UFC star in 35 seconds to finally win her first world title. Yes, after all her years of chipping away at things and climbing up the ladder, Liv Morgan was now the top woman on SmackDown. And as it stands at the time of this video's recording, that's where she remains. She even went on to win the rematch at July 30th SummerSlam, albeit in controversial fashion, but given how hard she's worked to get there, we weren't surprised that she managed to overcome the odds once more, because as she's shown throughout her career so far, even when it seems like she's down and out, she'll always continue to live forever. Well guys, what did you think of the video?
All right, that's the end of that video. That was Russell and Andy talking about Liv Morgan. But yeah, Liv Morgan, as we know, she went on to win the Money in the Bank contract match. She cashed in on then champion Ronda Rousey for the then SmackDown Women's Championship. Did it the same night and won in 35 seconds that night. So that's how Liv Morgan got to where she at. You go back to her upbringing. She was raised by a single mother. Father would probably pass away of a heart attack. 6 siblings of brothers and sisters. Worked at Hooters, was discovered, and got linked up with Joe DeFranco, famous trainer, trained athletes including The Undertaker, Triple H. Got to WWE and started on NXT, and the rest is history. And became women's champion. So yeah, that's pretty much how Liv Morgan got to this point in her career. Barry Allen BG said, "Don't you ever disrespect Liv." No, Barry Allen, you got it wrong. Don't you ever disrespect me. And if you do disrespect me on the locker room, talking that nonsense, as I'm stating out the fact, you will get yourself one of these.
Bye-bye, bitch.
No, you don't disrespect me. Get your simple self over Liv Morgan. Get out of here. John Bill said Liv Morgan is beautiful and the goddess. How the hell Bo Dallas scored? I don't understand. Yeah, Liv Morgan is attractive. I don't consider no woman a goddess. That's pretty much just saying that you consider a woman a god. And I don't consider no woman a god. Bo Dallas, how'd he get with her? I would say his connection with his brother. This is a good question, John Bill. I stated that earlier of her confirming her dating Bo Dallas. I would say Liv Morgan's cool with JoJo, and the connection that, Bray Wyatt was his brother, his older brother. I would say that's how he got with her. That's how the whole hookup started, if I had to guess. But yeah, Liv Morgan, that's how she got where she at, guys. That was her upbringing. The whole thing is how did Liv Morgan get here? And I played many interviews. I went from Russell with Andy, with Ariel Helwani, TNT Sports. Then we went to Chris Van Vliet, how she discovered at Hooters. Then also talked about Ronda Rousey in her book, Our Fight, how Liv Morgan wasn't even originally supposed to win the Money in the Bank contract match back in 2022. It was supposed to be Lacey Evans, and she was supposed to be champion. For some reason, upper Vince McMahon and upper management decided to go with Liv Morgan. Who knows what Liv Morgan did to get there? Who knows? But I played that already. Then I reverted back to Russell and Andy. And this is how we at. I gave my whole analysis of the whole thing. John Bill, you said my person Oscar. Oh yeah, I heard you say that before. Yeah. But yeah, this is how Liv Morgan got to this point. This is how Liv Morgan got here, guys. That's the whole thing about it. Other than that, I don't have anything else to say regarding Liv Morgan. And of course, I played the body cam to confirm her relationship with her dating relationship, whatever, with Bo Dallas. I reverted back to the body cam. She called her by his real name, Taylor. This is Taylor Rotunda. So like I said, this is how we got here. I don't have nothing else other than that regarding the whole Liv Morgan situation of how she got here. But yes, guys, how did Liv Morgan get here? That's how she got here. And she's currently on Monday Night Raw. She got the whole Liv Morgan Revenge Tour and how Liv Morgan took out Rhea Ripley. And now she's en route to get her second women's championship. More than likely, she's going to defeat the current champion on Monday Night Raw, Becky Lynch, who is the WWE Women's World Champion. And she more likely, she's going to challenge Becky Lynch at the King and Queen of the Ring PLE, which is a week from Saturday. And look, who knows if she wins that match or don't. But pretty much somewhere down the line, because her rise in popularity and this new Liv Morgan heel character and the whole Liv Morgan Revenge Tour, she more likely is going to win the WWE Women's World Championship and start her second Women's World Championship run. The first one was on the SmackDown brand. Now she's on Raw. She's getting more popular. You know, fans are more into her. She got a little bit better in the ring, and the promos still need work, but she more likely will become a women's world champion again for the second time in her career. And she's on a roll. So we'll see where it goes from here as far as Liv Morgan goes. So you guys in the live chat right now and on the playback, let me know. Do you agree with how did Liv Morgan get here? Did she have the best, route to get to WWE and to the women's main event, women's championship? And also let me know what you think about that. Do you agree or disagree in the whole thing? I greatly appreciate you guys tonight. And that's all I have regarding the subject. Soon to videos will pop up. Why is Lita frustrated with the drama? That's the first video. Second video is when Ed spoke on the love triangle. Until then, it is OUT.